There we go. All right. I'm gonna actually put this here.
Sorry. Yeah. However.
Actually, no. I can hold it.
Okay. I'll get this
I'm
out.
gonna be a rapper today. I'm kidding. Okay. So that's a lot better. All right. So we got our eighth note hi hats with our snare landing on every three. We're gonna go ahead and do our 808, which is actually we shouldn't do the 808 yet. We should figure out what the music is going to be. So a lot of the times, producers today are saving a lot of time in either throwing in a sample or creating something from scratch. Are you guys familiar with the samples and what they are? Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and grab something of my own, and just right, right. Actually, I'm gonna go to my latest drum kit that I put out. Where are samples? I'm just gonna go through these and see. Okay, so this is something that I already pre-made. I'm just gonna throw it in here. So right now it says that my BPM's at 137. So in FL, the issue it's not really an issue, but one of the problems you will come across is that I started this beat at 130 BPM. That sample's in 137, so we're just gonna go ahead and set this to 137 BPM, which is gonna be at the top where you see the transport controls, which is your play, stop, and record. Then once you have it set, because I do want to stay in 130, double click your sample. In this mode here, where it says resample, go to stretch. Once you set it to stretch, you can set it to any tempo. You see how I'm just scrolling? That sample is not going to go anywhere. So I can play this beat at 276 BPM and it's still going to stay on time. But once you get, bless you, once you get your session set up to your sample, set it to stretch, you're good to go. So now let's go ahead and cook. Let me grab an 808. Any questions so far? Okay. Oh, I hear it too.
Is it sounding weird?
I think that's your speaker.
I switched. I was able to make it sound fine.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fine to me, right? I mean, it's fine, but I don't know if that's what you were talking about, what I just heard right now.
Could you do it again?
Let me see if it'll do it again.
Yeah.
That's your speaker. Let's go ahead and cook up. So I'm going to go ahead and set the envelope, turn the attack all the way down, turn the release all the way down so I have more control of my 808. We're going to go.
ASDR guys, right? You remember that?
Yeah, ASDR or envelope. Let's see. I don't even know what key this is in, but we're going to figure it out by ear. I think it's G. Yes, G. I'm just create a pattern. So now I don't know if you've been teaching them how to click things in as far as creating bass lines, or you guys play it in, but usually for these kind of beats, you could just kind of program them accordingly. So I kind of want my 808 to do like a, let's see, boom, 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 boom. So I kind of want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click them in as I see the little, what is that called? The thing that shows you, I don't even know what that's called. You know what I'm talking about? This green line right here? Yeah, time marker. So I'm going to just follow it and just keep clicking in where I want to see, where I want to hear the 808 go. So right there is where it stopped. Actually, I'm gonna put the mic down for a second. Alright, so let's go ahead and so see how I'm just kind of clicking it in as I see the time marker go? Instead of just trying to figure out what block I need to click it in. Alright, so now that we got the notes there, if we want to change them, elongate them, you you can go ahead and select all the notes and hit Command L.
If you guys want to move closer to the screen, you can too. Like, there's two seats open if somebody wants to get closer.
Command L is gonna do legato to the notes like that. So now we'll have the stretched out 808. Yeah, so now we got an 808 pattern. So now we can make it interesting by changing these notes. So I'm gonna show you guys that right now. So now we just kind of have the idea. So whenever you're working with an artist, let's say we're working with a Playboy Cardi or we're working with whoever, I like to just get an idea going. Right now, this is enough to write to. And since I have the sample, sometimes artists will just write to the sample. They don't even need a full beat. And even in this case, the beat is not done. There's so many things we can do to it. We can add more layers. We can add more drums, which is what I'm going to get into right now. But for the most part, this beat is practically good enough to write to. So is there any questions you guys have? So, you know,
Like the first bottom beat, like is that a sample from there?
what about the sample? I'm sorry.
The 808 Evil Johnny, is that a sample from inside?
Yeah. So the Johnny Giuliano kit is a kit that I bought online. And so I can just go ahead and import it into my FL and use it. So I have a lot of drum kits I've been collecting over the years. So
Yeah, I'll show you guys how you guys can create like a folder on your computer that you can summon from inside of FL.
yeah,
But yeah, I'll be giving you guys some additional sounds too.
yeah, and then you can also give them myself too. Yeah. now what I'm saying is free.
Don't you have like 8 kits?
I have
Eight
eight like official kits,
You have like the essential kit.
and I have the essential kits. I have my
You have
percussion
the
kit.
Beats kit.
Oh my God! Yep, I got that too.
So I can give you some of those kits.
Yeah. What's up? Stretch. Okay. So what you're gonna do is, I'm gonna just go ahead and delete the sample and show you again. So delete. I'm gonna search for this sample. It was called Blue Tops. Oh, I don't think it's gonna pop up. I know where it's at though. Oh, there it went. Dang. There you go. So now that I put it right back into the session, we're at 130 BPM, but the sample is at 137. Watch how terrible this sounds. Like, see how the sample is just way ahead of the drums because the tempo isn't, matching. So what we're gonna do is set the tempo to wherever the sample is, which is 137 at the top.
This at the end of class last time, but pay attention now also.
Yeah, so see how I set it to 137? So now we're back on time with the sample, but we don't want the speed. This is too fast. Even though Cardi would actually get on this. What's up?
Wait, so if you selected the other one, it'd be 130?
Say that one more time?
If you selected like the other, like the hi-hats and that stuff, would that be 130? Or that also?
So anything you talk about like the MIDI that I've created.
Yeah, did you only change that sound to 137 or did you change everything?
So I changed the whole session to 137 right now, just so that the sample will match up. But anything that you create within FL that's MIDI based, it's gonna just sync and be okay. Anything that's waveform, because it's printed that way, is you just gotta kind of correlate the tempo with the sample before you can change anything, right? So once you get your tempos to match, then you go to the mode by double clicking to bring up the sample. Go to mode, click it to stretch, and then you're good to go. That's pretty much it. So if I go to 97 BPM, which is really slow, it's going to slow the sample down according to what I have or how I have the tempo. And if I go faster, sample's going to, It'll do it the same with any sample, yeah. So now that we got that, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to 130. So now, like I said, this is enough to get a song going. So let's say he's like, okay, I like what you got so far. Let's go ahead and add some variation or some bells and whistles. So at this point, is there any instruments that you guys are interested in hearing on top of this? What are you guys thinking? Yeah, we could do that. We could do that.
I've been showing them GMS flexing
Okay.
FLPs. There's probably an electric guitar.
Let me see. I don't use Flex enough to know, but I'm sure there is. Does your Flex look like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I don't use FL like I used to, but I'm getting back to it. And is there a specific way to search for it on here?
There's a search box at the bottom.
Ew, okay. Guitar. Oh, wow. You know what? So, like, say if we can't find, I mean, I'm not looking that hard, but say we want this to sound like an electric guitar. Right now, this is more of an acoustic sounding guitar. You can throw that into an insert. You guys know what an insert is? Okay. Which is right here on the mixer. And there's this lovely plugin. It's a classic. It's called Fast Dist, which is pretty much a distortion plugin. It's Fruity Fast Dist, right? Yep. And then I like to just turn it to from A to B. It's just gonna distort your sound drastically. So now any signal that goes through it, it's gonna sound like an electric
You guys
guitar.
remember when I was showing you how to set up insert on the upper right hand corner, and you could put fast disc in there and distort the sound like that.
Yep. Actually, too. So say because sometimes when you're in sessions, maybe you're making a beat on your own, but you're just in a flow state and you're not organizing, you're not inserting your sounds into your mixer. I'm gonna show you guys a really fast way to do that, so you're not thinking about where you want to put your sounds. I'm just deleting the ones that I'm not using right now. All right, so let's actually take this fast distortion off. So right now nothing's in the mixer, right? Now everything is zeroed out. So if you want, you can select all of these, and then which is clicking and dragging, and you're gonna go to your mixer, go to an empty insert. You can just go to one and hit Command Shift L, or if you're on PC, Control Shift L. Boom. Now everything is in the mixer. So now you can affect your sounds accordingly. So right now we're gonna go back to that electric guitar and put fast distortion back on it. Or for the
Justin taking notes. Does anybody else know what shortcut he just showed you? I showed you guys the long way. Who can tell me the Sorry.
Like we're like right clicking, you click like assign to all, so that
Yes, exactly. So he just showed you how you can do it without even doing that.
Yeah, what's cool about FL, it reminds me I've been using this for like 20 years now, I want to say. Jeez. For a very long time. And, I went to school just like you guys did. And bless you. And this reminds me of Microsoft Word. I kid you not. Because a lot of the hotkeys that you would use in any other program is the same in here. It's Command C for copy, Command V, Command E to cut. What's your question?
How do you get to the distort?
So pretty much once you have your sound in your insert, you're gonna go over here to the right, which is gonna be your signal chain over here to the right. I don't know why I pointed, like you can see my finger, but you would go ahead and hit a slot, and then you would find fast distortion. I have it organized. Well, it's actually not that organized, but with the stock plugins, you'll see them in distortion for fast distortion. And then you have everything else, arranged accordingly to your dynamics, which is like your compression, and then everything else, modulation.
Yeah, we didn't really get that far yet.
Okay,
Not super in depth with the
like plugins.
Yeah,
Okay.
not super in depth
Yeah.
just to the mixer track and how to put everything
Yeah.
on its own.
Okay. But yeah, but the reason you want to use plugins, well, you don't have to, but for the most part, if you want to differentiate yourself from every other producer, using plugins to experiment is what's gonna take you to the next level, and also just make you sound like, unique. I think, man, I'm showing my age right now, but there's a producer named Pharrell. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Pharrell. His like signature was using the Triton. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Triton keyboard, but the Triton keyboard was like his staple. Everybody used it, but the way that he used it was very unique because he just really dove into the keyboard and just manipulated everything that was coming out of it. So that's why everyone back then, even with Timbaland, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, but with Pharrell specifically, why I bring him up is because everyone tried to, you know, mock his sound and try to copy what he was doing, but they couldn't figure out what sounds he was using. They would see him use the keyboard, but they're like, "Where's he getting these sounds from?" You can't import sounds into well, you could, but it wasn't. No one was making presets for the Triton, but using effects like I showed you guys right now with the fast distortion is what's gonna change your sound and make you who you are as a music producer. So this is what the sound sounds like without distortion. Very dry, bland. Once I add it on, so now we sound like we're rocking out. So there you go. And if someone's gonna ask me, and if I show this beat to them, like, "Yo, where'd you get that guitar from? Like, did you play it?" I'm like, "No, I just use an effects plugin, and I made it." That's called sound design. I don't know if you guys got into sound design
We
yet, but
didn't
that's
talk too much. We were speaking about the sound design that comes like if you take a WAV file and then you're manipulating
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the ASDR, or like reversing it and stuff like that.
Got you. Yeah, that's still sound design. Anything that you do with a signal of any sort, whether it's a plugin or even this waveform, and you're just changing it, that's called sound design. And sound design is really what's gonna make you, like I said, unique from any other producer that you come across. That's what's gonna get you into rooms, and that's a lot of the reason why I get called into sessions. Um, it's because I play with everything. I try to figure out how to make things sound different because everyone has FL Studio. We all have the same things, but yeah, I would say go ahead and experiment with sound design. All right, let's go ahead and add some of this guitar. I don't even know what I want to do yet. Put this out for a second. Okay, yeah, I do know what I want to do. Okay, let's go
I
ahead.
apologize for my speakers.
No, you're good. All right, we got. I think we got it. Let's see. Oh yeah, we did. It recorded the mic too. That's what
I might have fixed it.
it might just be a cable.
No, I think it was a shelf.
All right, so since I played this in on the keyboard, there's gonna be a little bit of inconsistencies with the MIDI. I'm sure you've taught them about quantization.
Yeah, we talked about
Okay.
quantization, right, guys? But wait, somebody tell me how to quantize what he just did.
You go to top left, the triangle,
Yep.
and then you do
Yeah,
No, what's-
Click stamp and then quantize at the bottom.
that's definitely one way to do it.
no, it's crazy.
But
I forgot how to do it. I mean, I know how to do it. I know hotkeys so well. This is why.
tools.
Oh yeah, quick quantize and there's quantize. So
So the triangle tools and then
It's also Command Q.
yeah, Command Q. So like I said, I've been using this for 20 years. So I just know all the hotkeys without even going to like the tools and things like that. So you hit Command Q, and as you can see, it just put everything into place for me. And if you ever have any notes overlapping, which in this case I'm not sure if I do, I think it cut them for me too, which is strange.
you still paying attention, Cam?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Okay, see how these notes are overlapping? When I hit Command Q, hold on, I gotta see why to do that. That's interesting. Oh,
That's the regular quantized.
yeah, this is regular quantized. I'm trying to figure out why it was doing the cutoff too.
What's your grid set to?
It's set to line, I'm sure, but it never does that. I mean, I'm glad it did it, but that's weird because I wanted to show like how it would fix, those.
Oh,
notes.
the length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's say we it didn't do that, right? And we just did a regular quantize, hit accept. See how these notes are overlapping? So this is when you want to go into, I wouldn't call it sound design, but you just want to just get everything down to a T as far as how everything's outputting. So I like to just chop these notes manually, or you can select notes because even this one is not meeting this one. You can select it and hit Command L, and it'll fix it for you as well. Because sometimes you don't want all the notes to get to the next note. Sometimes you want this little cutoff like you see here, because that's exactly how I played it in for the most part. Like even with this one having a little bit of space in between, that's like necessary. And since we have everything in a mixture, we can turn stuff down. The electric guitar is overpowering everything. Yeah, and there we go. We can just go ahead and
Oh, can you tell them the shortcut for that?
yeah. So when you have your pattern selected, Command B.
Command B
So this is one thing I will say
or
that this.
Control B.
Yeah, so this is one thing I will say that doesn't correlate with Microsoft Word, because to duplicate in Microsoft Word is Command D usually, but FL Studio, they wanted to do Command B for whatever reason. Every other DAW is Command D, which is crazy. But yeah, Command B is how you would copy a pattern over.
There's another way to do that too.
Yeah, which is what? Going to
The paintbrush.
the paintbrush. Oh yeah, you can go to the paintbrush. So say if this wasn't here, you can just click your pattern and just paint it in, and then adjust accordingly. And in my samples, I have like all the stems here. There's so much more going on, but we don't have to get into that. But yeah, I pretty much have a beat that's good enough for an artist like Playboy Cardi, Travis Scott, whoever, to write to. Because when they're in the studio, they don't want to waste time. This is also work for them. So at that point, you just want to get a good idea so they can just go in the booth and do their thing. Maybe they want to write. They don't want to see you because you're angry and you're like going into it. Nobody wants to deal with that. So getting a good idea and knowing your hotkeys and where your tools are is very important. And then once they write down an idea or get an idea on paper or in the DAW, if you will, then you can go in after that if you're with the artist because you have that control. But for the sake of sending out beats, that's when you want to kind of go in and do your thing. Like if you're not with an artist, you just want to go crazy. So let's go ahead and let's do a couple more things before I go on to the next drawing. Any more questions? Yeah? Okay, cool. Let me go ahead. Do you have any questions?
At some point, could you make a beat from scratch?
Yeah, I got you. I'm just gonna add like a few like open hi-hats, percussion, and move on. I forgot I'm not even talking to the mic, but it's probably catching what I'm saying.
A little bit, yeah. I could boost the audio later.
Yeah. Oh, okay, for sure. Okay. Yeah, these are all the sounds. your hi hats yet?
I only showed them how you can do it in 24, like where like you can do it in the channel rack. But I showed
Oh,
them like
okay.
also like how you can change the grid and like control U to.
Oh yeah, yeah. I usually use Option U because then I can do different variations.
Oh,
But yeah, Command. So the thing is with Command U is based on I think your
it's based on the
grid.
grid, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you use Option U or Alt U if you're on PC, uh, you have control of how much you want it to roll. Yeah, it's super fire. Another cheat code too. Like say, I think this is what you were talking about. But say we're on a whole nother pattern, and we had the hi hat here, and let's say we do another two step. This is something that's new. I think this is if you go to what is it? Repeat. So,
Yeah, that's what I showed them.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's actually a new feature in FL that
The only thing that I don't like about that is
it,
if you roll it in the channel rack and if you send it to the piano roll, it doesn't reflect.
yeah.
It
That's the
still
only.
makes the sound, but it doesn't reflect. It's treating it like an effect.
Yeah, no facts. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But it's a cool way to get some fast hi hats, and it doesn't like it only does it to that note.
Into the notes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But it's cool for coming up with quick ideas, though.
yeah,
I
no,
will say that.
for sure. Yeah, this beat is good. I don't think I need to add any more. I'm gonna go ahead and make something from scratch. But what's
When
up?
you were in the piano roll, you know how you like split that note into like four things?
Yeah.
How did you do that again?
So when you go to your piano roll, like say I want to roll this note right here,
Uh-huh.
so you can select it by either hitting Command click or Control click if you're on PC, and you would do Option or Alt if you're on PC, U, and it will bring up this piano roll chopper, and however you turn this up or down is going to determine how fast or slow it rolls. So to the left it's going to roll more, to the right it's going to roll less. And if you ever turn to the right all the way, it won't roll at all. But
I'm gonna say that that's a very good tip that everybody should remember. Not that I'm gonna quiz you on it or anything, but I think it'll make your life easier, even easier than what I told you. So keep that in mind.
yeah, that's a really good tool. But yeah, Alt U or Option U. But yeah, let me actually save this because I like this. I hate this new way that it saves though.
Oh, I haven't even tried that.
Yeah, I usually just do Command Shift R, and then I'll just name it whatever.
Can you archive zip?
That's what I'm doing right
Okay.
here. So when you this is very probably the most important thing is saving your beats accordingly. I would write this down if you guys if you write anything down, write this down. So when you're saving your beats, you want to have the title of the beat, your producer name, and whoever else is involved. So say this is me, oh gosh, Leotus, and he goes by Awesome. Well, that's what I call him. Huh? That's what everybody calls me. Yeah, yeah. So I would put like for example, the blue tops is what this beat is called, and then I'll put a dash, or you can do it underscore, however you feel. The dash just looks cooler to me because you are sending this to rappers. You know what I'm saying? So you want it to look as cool as you can, and I'm gonna put my artist name or producer name, which is Oh Gosh Leotus. Yeah, I cannot spell it off. And then, since it's by myself, I would just put the BPM. In this case, it's 130 BPM. Boom. That's how it needs to look. So, for example, what I was explaining as far as having someone else on this beat, like say I did work on this with Vic, you would put an X and then put the other producer's name, and then say there's another person, put an X, and then I'll put class because you guys are also a part of this. What's up?
Command Shift R.
Command Shift R, yeah. To bring up this window, yeah.
Yeah, you can also go to File and go Export Zip.
Yeah, I'll
We'll
show
do
that.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just doing hotkeys just because it's muscle memory at this point. So once you get all your names, after the title of the beat, you're gonna put your BPM, which in this case is 130 BPM. And then, but once you come to this window from Command Shift R, it's gonna want to save it as MP3. You want to save it as a zipped loop or zipped song file, which is a zip loop package. Sorry, I'm not talking to the mic. So once you have that there, you can save it accordingly to whatever folder. In this case, I just have a folder called FLPs. This is just where I'm going to save it. Once I hit save, we're good. But the other way to do this is go to File, Export, and then go to Zipped Loop Package. And it's the same exact process. And it'll already be set to the file format that you want to save.
He has a question.
What's up? What's up?
It's not really after this, but do you have a producer tag?
I do have a producer tag, yes.
They're always asking me what my producer tag is.
Wait, they ask you about yours? What?
Do you have one?
I want. You know what?
Nah, bien.
I don't have yours here.
Oh.
I have mine.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. The video that I got that from is hilarious. So my tag came from this woman that had a phobia of clowns. It is hilarious. So yeah, I played. I played people. Yeah. So it's so crazy because I play it, in all my beats or whatever. But whenever I go back to the video to show someone, it doesn't sound like I got it from that video. It sounds like I placed it there. Like that's how much I've branded that.
That's so crazy.
That whole thing. But yeah, that's my producer tag. I don't have yours actually. Which is strange. I don't know why. Well, it's because usually you're finishing. Yeah. What's up?
Not the one above it, the official.
Oh gosh. Oh
It's just the one with the drag on it, the delay.
gosh. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Let's yeah. How much time do we have? We got about. It's 9:57. How much time we got?
It lets out at 10:10.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough time. All right, there we go.